Yeah, there you go. I was right on time. Okay, I got this thing down, huh? But so actually, let me do that math again to figure out when this one's gonna come. So 26 minutes 51 seconds. So it's 81 minutes minus 27 seconds. So 80 minutes and 33 seconds is when it's gonna cut again. But that's what I was trying to figure out. So I mentioned, God using the U.S. government to do necessary evils. Uh, I also mentioned, in other videos, previous videos in this playlist, that that 11th spirit thought that God element. I believe that it because it corresponds with multiple things. Because, well, I should say because that third apocalyptic horse corresponds with multiple things. It also corresponds with the U.S. government, and that the UN corresponds with the horse whose rider's name is Death. And I also mentioned previously how that Death is similar to the very calm eye of the storm when you get a hurricane. Uh, and the area right around the eye is the most violent part of the storm, but the eye itself is the calmest. So you go from the most intense, wildest part of the storm down to absolutely nothing. And so I think that the United Nations corresponds with this calm eye of the storm, with this 12th sphere of thought that can occur in the mind, which you have to actually develop after birth, uh, just like the 11th. And so, and it is basically something that just kind of sucks the aggressiveness and the political power out of various national governments, um, and kind of tamps down what would be aggressive dictatorial energies. But the 12th sphere of thought in the mind, for those who have it, just kind of pulls in that emotion. And and let's face it, violent men, dictators, they can be emotional. uh, and emotion is very much a part of why they do what they do. uh, Even though dictators have a more organized way of thinking than the average person, they're still not above and beyond emotion. But once you get this 12th sphere of thought developed in your mind, you actually can be above and beyond emotion. It's kind of like a black hole that just kind of sucks things in and doesn't let them out. Uh, and but I've also said that 11th sphere can basically be restructured, reused. I'm trying not to get into a full explanation of what I mean by that, because that's a long explanation too, just by itself. Um, but that 11th spear can operate as the 13th spear. It actually, uh, even though I'm avoiding the more detailed explanation, I could give it, but it actually functions as the 13th spear. And then we go backwards one more step, and the 10th spear of thought actually operates as a 14th, and that's where it ends. But and yes, that is true with God, but it can also be true with people, um, that they operate in this 13th sphere. No one's going to do it as fully or as well as God. And you're not dealing with the same type of death, the same type of destruction, where God dealt with the destruction of everything in the universe, everything imploding and actually coming back at him. Uh, and So you're just dealing with the destruction of society around you, as you hear about the dozens of ships off the California coast and issues pertaining to COVID-19 and this mass migration through Latin America and Mexico to the southern border of the U.S. And how that China is increasing its military capabilities, and they're doing more space exploration, and they're taunting Taiwan, and Taiwan produces something like 60% of the world's semiconductors, which are necessary for every piece of technology in the world. Okay, and that's leading to decreased auto production and increased prices of the autos that are produced, as well as increased prices for used cars, and decreased production of phones and computers, and increased prices for phones and computers, and on and on. Okay, and so China has found that one trigger that it can use to really hurt a lot of people in the world. All they have to do is act like they want to attack Taiwan. And even if they don't attack Taiwan, they haven't attacked Taiwan. And it's not just COVID 19 that has kept the Taiwanese from producing enough semiconductors, but the mere fact that Taiwan has to look out for Chinese aggression and redirect its resources toward dealing with that possibility. um, well, that's also a reason why Taiwan is not producing so many semiconductors. Uh, and so, as long as China just flies its planes over and around Taiwan, then Taiwan is not going to make enough semiconductors, and every type of technology in the world is going to be adversely affected. And then if China actually does attack Taiwan, even before anybody attacks China, uh, Taiwan is going to probably completely stop making semiconductors. And I don't know what kind of military arrangement they have in terms of drafting people, and if people who are working in the semiconductor factories would have to leave that job and put on a military uniform. I don't know how that works in Taiwan, but anyway, we've gotten to a place now where we put all our eggs in the same basket. That basket being Taiwan, or maybe just 3 out of 5 eggs. 3 out of 5 semiconductors come from there, But even so, that's a pretty big percentage of the eggs, and so a lot stops if we go to war with Taiwan, or if China even goes to war with Taiwan. I mean, we wouldn't go to war with Taiwan. Let me restate that. We're not going to war with Taiwan. We would go to war to defend Taiwan. But if there's a war about Taiwan, then you can forget about producing technology for a while. And then if China actually decides to bomb, I think it's called TSMC, this the biggest semiconductor company in Taiwan, Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company. If it gets bombed, then it's like the world will go to hell in a handbasket at a faster rate than it already is. But and so that's kind of where things are at right now, and I believe that all of this stuff is going to come together in a really big way, probably in the next couple of months, and so the world society is beginning to implode. It might not be as bad as just World War III. I'm not thinking we're going there, but it's going to be bad enough to where people are going to be forced to think about public affairs, to think about governance, to think about political issues. Uh, so I'm not saying that this is a doomsday sort of thing, but uh, but it probably will force a lot of people to the 12th and 13th spheres of thought. They'll have to think about the things that can cause the destruction of world society or of their nation's society, and they're going to have to think about the types of things that would need to be done to prevent that destruction, in much the same way that God has figured out how to prevent the destruction of all life in the universe. And so there it is. I think that's probably the best explanation I can give you. But that also leaves just one more area of thought, and I think I'm gonna sign off right now, and then I'm gonna start a new video for that final thing, and that doesn't include the video about what I'm up to right now. So let me see. It's not too late, but let me go ahead and end this video and start a new one soon.